Yeah, and Chris, me and you know that we were here Monday morning, and that's when we were covering this tragedy here at Lamar High School because it was tough to hear throughout the day that one student who was shot ended up dying from his injuries. He was 16 years old, and of course, this all started at 7 a.m. I'm going to walk you through quickly what happened. Arlington police say they got the call for shots fired just before 7. 16-year-old Jashawn Poirier was killed. Another 16-year-old girl was hit with shrapnel. Police say the suspect here, a 15-year-old, ran from the scene but was later arrested and charged with capital murder. Yesterday, school was canceled. Monday, school was canceled. But today, students returned to classroom this morning, as you mentioned, Chris. And I'm actually here with Dr. Brad Schwall. He's the CEO of the Center for Integrative Counseling and Psychology. And you really specialize in talking with students and their parents about tragedies like these. What advice do you have for these communities that are going through this right now?
Well, first, find out what your child is thinking at any of these schools or any school because what people see on the news, what people hear impacts us all. Find out what they're thinking. Validate feelings. We never want to dismiss feelings. We never want to say, oh, you should not be worried. Oh, this will never happen again. Validate that it is okay to worry.
Another thing I want to talk about are those warning signs that we typically see from people who may feel angry, may feel like committing violence against others. What should people look for and raise that red flag to possibly a parent, a counselor, a teacher, something like that?
So, traumatic stress looks many different ways. One, it can be a fear of going into the situation where violence or the traumatic experience happened, but it can also be an underlying depression or anxiousness. So, we are watching for what our children are experiencing, their thoughts, their feelings, how are their behaviors changing. So, it is important to understand that teachers, staff, everyone, when security is broken, it's important to talk about that. It's important to process that. And again, be aware trauma does lead to hypervigilance, a fear of loud noises. Sometimes that is what we think of when we think of trauma, but it also can be this underlying anxiousness. So important to talk about it.
Absolutely. Dr. Brad Schwall, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to be talking with him throughout the show here in just about 30 minutes. Of course, I'm going to be live here at Lamar High School. But for the latest on both of these tragedies,